Everyone back tuning into the 11th Christmas update. We've done 10 updates so far, and a bit of a mixed bag, but generally the first 10 were trending towards something a bit colder, although the past couple have actually lost that signal a bit for northerly and easterly winds, and instead they're tending to be more along the lines just high pressure around the country, keeping it fairly cold, frosty and foggy around or before Christmas, and then maybe an Atlantic attack after Christmas. So over the most recent of the 10 updates, the last 2 or 3, I think we have tended to lose the northerly and easterly signals that we had in the earlier updates. You can see what I mean. But we'll have a look and see what the 11th update is showing in a second. And very interesting going to be as well, I think. But we'll see what charts are showing in a moment. But before I get on with that, just to say about the ads, there's links to articles on all the pages of Gazworthy, so have a browse widgets and click through the links if there's any articles that you're interested in. Thanks so much for doing that. There's video ads on most of the pages which open out with the content. When you've watched them, they'll close back up again. Thanks so much for getting involved and doing that. And of course, the Christmas shop is open. As you know, it's been a huge success so far, so thanks to everybody who has done their Christmas shopping via the Amazon banners in the Christmas shop. And of course, still got plenty of time to do so. I think we've got Black Friday coming up on Friday, so maybe do a bit of Christmas shopping then. You've got to stay at home and do it rather than battling with the crowds in the shops. But there's plenty of time to do Christmas shopping at Amazon. All you have to do is press the button that says Christmas Shop, and it takes you to Christmas Shop, and then from there just click through the Amazon banners. Don't need to do anything else, because you're going from Gazworthy to Amazon. We get a revenue fee on the things that you are buying, and thanks very much for getting involved, and thanks for doing that. So the website we're using, as always, for these earlier updates, and eventually we'll go on to the short-range GFS from Weather Central, but for these earlier updates, the website we're using for Christmas update is coming from meteoseal.fi. Find link Mitchell Seal on the links page. It's the CFS 9-monthly forecast midday run, generated midday yesterday. We always try and use the same update if at all possible. I mean, I can't get told off and shouted out by anybody for cherry picking a certain outcome. It's just the way these updates come out randomly with the midday run. So let's get on with the 11th update. I'm going to start on the 10th of December, and we're having a batter in here, a bit of a stormy chart to start us off. Deep area of low pressure into Scandinavia, ridge of high pressure down across Spain and Portugal, and this very strong west to northwesterly wind across the country. That's severe gales blasting away there across the north, so that would be a real battering on the 10th of December. Remember, you can't take these charts too literally because it's too far away, so we're just looking for a general trend of what's going on through initially the middle part of December and then eventually later December. So we go through to the 12th and things calm down from that first storm, but another storm is going on here from the 12th into the 13th. Again, very tightly packed ice bar, so that's more severe gales coming in here on the 13th of December. Quite cold as well. It's fully ice bars back. The air there is originating from Iceland, so that's pretty cold air coming down across the country. Will certainly bring wintry showers into Scotland, and we'll have wintry showers elsewhere. Now that low pressure starts to push away in towards Scandinavia, which go through to the middle part of the month, so this is the 14th on into the 15th, and then high pressure is building up from the southwest. Now this is under fairly cold air, although milder air is starting to come around the top of the high, affecting Scotland and Northern Ireland, but for England and Wales, we're under fairly cold air there, so that could be frosty and foggy going up to the middle part of December for the south, less so for the north. And then that high pressure really comes to take over as we move through into the 16th on into the 17th, so quite a spell of dry weather there. Through to the 17th on into the 18th. High pressure coming more centred across Central Europe, but it still is within generally quite cold air. So I think it's the same idea as had for the last couple of updates actually, which is around mid-December we may break out of a stormy spell and go towards frost and fog. There's no signal for snow here because it's all anticyclonic, but cold, frosty, foggy again seems to be the signal for the middle part of December. That high pressure is reinforced as you go through to the 17th, 18th, 19th, as more high pressure is ridging in off the Atlantic. So again, it keeps the dry weather going through that middle part of December. beginning to run towards Christmas now. Still, we've been generally quite cold air, particularly for England and Wales. It's milder for Scotland and Northern Ireland. But frost and fog down in the south would definitely be an issue under that kind of chart. Now, run up towards Christmas, it takes from the 20th through into the 21st of December, and low pressure is starting to come in off the Atlantic. It's moving into that cold air, though. We've got a bit of a stall taking place as these areas of, as this area of low pressure and these weather fronts begin to come in from the west and start to stall. So this is a band of rain moving through 21st, 22nd, in towards 21st. It's coming into cold air, so it could, and it's stalling, so it could deliver some snow, potentially. But I think it's probably mostly rain, to be honest, because it's far too far away to be worrying about detail like that. General idea is that the high pressure begins to break down as we move up towards Christmas. So this takes us into Christmas Eve, and well, high pressure is still very close to us, actually. That first attempt at breaking it down has failed. So 6 o'clock in the evening on Christmas Eve shows high pressure dominating across the east of Europe, low pressure out to the west. Generally quite mild for Scotland and Northern Ireland. Probably still quite cold for England and Wales. There's not really been anything to break down the cold, but is initially established around the 14th or 15th of December. So quite a prolonged cold spell, actually, running up to Christmas, if not particularly snowy. Now, as we go through to Christmas Day, we find low pressure again coming in off the Atlantic, and this one is coming in with rain. I think there's no doubt about this. The air is originating probably from the Bay of Biscay, somewhere like that. So outbreaks of rain starting to move in again on Christmas Day. Give quite a damp and dank sort of day. And then we go beyond Christmas, so Boxing Day to the 27th, we start to really break down that high pressure. And low pressure coming back in off the Atlantic here. Ice bars are tight, so it's turning windy, turning mild, turning wet, with low pressure starting to barrel in off the Atlantic with the jet stream. And that takes us through then to the start of the new year. So this is New Year's Eve. If we run through, this is what it looks like as Big Ben chimes. Very unsettled chart again for the midnight on New Year's Day, 1st January 2016. High pressure south, deep storm system around Iceland. So it's turning wet and windy with mild southwesterly winds pushing in. And then it just stays unsettled through the first week of January. Running through, we find areas of low pressure, initially anyway, giving wet windy conditions. Eventually, by the time we get through to the 7th of January, which is just here, high pressure has broken us out of that unsettled weather again. High pressure is centred over Central Europe, and we're bringing up a southerly flow. So that could be exceptionally mild, actually, that chart. Maybe even, dare I say, a little taste of spring there. You will certainly be seeing temperatures up into double figures. So, don't worry about that. The general idea from this update is, again, nothing particularly severely cold showing up. We do appear to have lost that signal for northerly and easterly winds, at least on the updates that I've been doing. And they're coming out randomly. So, for the updates I've been doing, we seem to have lost that signal for northerly and easterly winds. It looks like we have a stormy first half of December. We may break out into something colder, frosty, foggy mid-month. It isn't an easterly or a northerly. It's just area of high pressure bringing quiet, cold, frost and fog conditions, and then probably returning to an Atlantic onslaught as we get towards the end of the year after Christmas. So that seems to be the way we're trending at the moment. It's very early days, of course, still, though we're at the 11th update, so it seems like we've been going for some time. It's still very early days to Christmas. So we'll see what the next updates have in store. The next update, the 12th one, will be on Thursday evening. So come back for that then. That's all for now, and thanks for watching.